across live to Dr. Mohammed Munir, a virologist at Lancaster University. Thank you for joining us on the programme. Doctor, how much of a setback is this for the vaccine candidate being developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on the show. If we really look onto the front runners vaccine, Oxford University AstraZeneca partnership vaccine is the one that have received the major concerns in terms of pauses, in terms of having safety concerns. And now having any volunteer who died within the phase 3 trial, which is a last stage trial, I think that is really concerning. And I think the real question will come whether that person has been vaccinated or was in the placebo group, because that would be determinative for really seeing if the safety is good enough to continue the trial or not. But looking really onto the trial continuation, because Brazilian government approved to carry on the trial, meaning that probably the person has been in the placebo group. But again, the question is that whether the transparency in providing all that information publicly is maintained or not, because if it isn't, it's really hard to interpret what really is the actual situation on ground.
Yeah, there were some earlier problems with the same vaccine. Last month, 2 volunteers suffered spinal cord inflammation. Does it look like they're moving too fast with the trials, do you think?
I think when it comes to vaccines like AstraZeneca, Oxford vaccine, because they use a technology called adenovirus, which is not really safe, because we do know that this is DNA-based viruses. And if you can recall, Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been passed, and that has also been using the same vector. So probably there is some commonalities between both of these vaccine candidates, and there is some inherent issues that need to be visited very carefully before the continuation of the trial, and also considering this one as one of the front runner. And I'm a little bit surprised that with all of these concerns, the Oxford AstraZeneca, instead that they revisit their approach and either broaden their testing capability or come up with really alternative plan, they instead propose the UK government to perform human challenge trial, which is of course risky on its own for such a vaccine that is already having question mark. I think this is really something concerning.
Yeah, Oxford University said in a statement that it's agreed with the Brazilian regulators that the trial will continue. Does it look to you like they're being less cautious than back in September when the trials were paused?
Well, when the first time the trial was paused, they made announcement that the data will be reviewed by an independent scrutiny committee before they would make the decision. But this time, it seems like they have crossed the data very quickly, because it was just the case earlier today, and later they announced that the trial will be continued. Either they would they have already got the information so quickly, or they don't really bother too much on that, because this is something that need to be independently and very carefully looked at, because in Brazil and also in South Africa, along with the UK, the trials where the phase 3 trials are ongoing, total number of participants are around 20,000, and the United States at 30,000. So 50,000 people are being trialed within this last stage trial. I think every stage has to be very carefully taken into consideration before the continuation of the trials, even not talking about the approval.
We're running out of time, but I just want to ask you one very quick question. If you could answer shortly, that would be great. The details of the volunteer's death have not been disclosed. Now, given the importance of this drug, do you think that information should be made public?
To me, this information has to be made public and has to be made very quickly, so that everybody independently can assess it and make their opinion, because without all that information, it's really hard to make any assessment.
Dr. Mohammed Munir, a virologist at Lancaster University, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.